Commas before conjunctions. When should they be used? By Aspen Knight, Derek Heck, Shelby Holmes, and Mia Sassion. When should a comma be placed before a conjunction? A comma should always be placed before a coordinating conjunction when one is connecting two independent clauses. What, then, is a coordinating conjunction, and what is an independent clause? An independent clause is a group of words that could stand alone as a simple sentence. They have both a subject and a predicate. A coordinating conjunction allows two independent clauses to be connected, forming a much more complex sentence. When these coordinating conjunctions are used in a sentence to connect two independent clauses, a comma needs to be placed after the first independent clause and before the coordinating conjunction. Sometimes it is hard to tell when to use a comma in a sentence or not, especially with conjunctions. All of these sentences have a conjunction, but only one of them uses a comma before the conjunction. Are you able to tell why? If you're having trouble trying to figure it out, then this mini lesson will be very useful to you and will help you to use commas correctly before conjunctions in your writing. First, we will start by talking about what a conjunction is. Coordinating conjunctions are used to combine two grammatically similar or equal elements. This may be two nouns, two verbs, or two clauses, or, in our case, two independent clauses. Some coordinating conjunctions are and, but, so, yet, for, nor, or. An independent clause contains a subject and a predicate, and can stand alone as a sentence. For example, in the sentence, I want to order a Coke, I would be the subject, the doer of the sentence, where want to order a Coke is the predicate, or what the subject does. We also have another sentence, my friend would like a Sprite, where my friend is the subject and would like a Sprite is the predicate. If we wanted to combine these two sentences, we would simply use the coordinating conjunction and to do so. Then we end up with a compound sentence, I want to order a Coke and my friend would like a Sprite. Coordinating conjunctions are useful because they can be used to combine short, choppy sentences into one longer, smoother sentence and can give writing a better flow. So, if a coordinating conjunction is used to combine two sentences or two independent clauses, then it is necessary to use a comma after the first clause and before the conjunction. In the first example, we know that we have two independent clauses because we can separate the two and they both stand alone as sentences. Joe, Steve, and Anna stayed behind is the first sentence, and I decided to go home is the second. Since they are able to stand alone as sentences, we need to use a comma after the first clause, Joe, Steve, and Anna stayed behind. This is also the case with the next example. If we split up the sentence into two, we would have, it was a bright sunny day. I opened the window. Therefore, a comma is required after the first clause, it was a bright sunny day. The third example follows the same rule. We can see that this sentence can be split into two. I do not like to be cheated or swindled. I do not appreciate being treated with disrespect. So we can combine the sentence with the conjunction nor to form the compound sentence. I do not like to be cheated or swindled, nor do I appreciate being treated with disrespect. It is important to note that if a coordinating conjunction is used to combine an independent clause and a dependent clause, then a comma is not used. All sentences require at least one independent clause, but we can also use coordinating conjunctions to combine them with dependent clauses, which are clauses that cannot stand alone as a sentence. For example, this sentence, the shirt is red and has green stripes, cannot be split into two equal sentences. The shirt is red can stand alone, but has green stripes cannot because it is missing a subject or the doer of the sentence. So therefore we know that it is a dependent clause and a comma is not used before the conjunction and. This is also the case with the next sentence. She has to give up her most prized possession can stand alone, but be willing to suffer the consequences cannot. So that means that we do not use a comma before the conjunction or. So remember, if a coordinating conjunction is used to combine two independent clauses, then a comma is used before the conjunction.
Now that you know how and when to use commas before coordinating conjunctions, let's try and correct the following sentences. Sentence 1. Aspen wanted to get into the room, but the room was locked. Do we need to put a comma in the sentence? Well, let's check. Do we have a coordinating conjunction? Yes. But is our coordinating conjunction. Next, do we have one independent clause on each side of the conjunction? Yes. Aspen wanted to get into the room is the first independent clause, and the room was locked is the second independent clause. Therefore, with these three elements, we must put a comma before the conjunction but. Sentence 2. Monster does like popcorn, yet he does not like green beans. Do we need to put a comma in the sentence? Well, let's see. Does the sentence have a coordinating conjunction? Yes. The coordinating conjunction is yet. Next, do we have an independent clause on each side of the conjunction? Yes. Monster does like popcorn, and he does not like green beans are the independent clauses in the sentence. So, with these three elements, we must put a comma before the conjunction yet. Sentence 3. His party is on Friday and starts at 9. Do we need to put a comma in the sentence? Let's look. Do we have a coordinating conjunction? Yes. The coordinating conjunction in the sentence is and. Now, do we have an independent clause on each side of the conjunction? Well, his party is on Friday is an independent clause, but is starts at 9 an independent clause? No. Since we do not have an independent clause on each side of the conjunction, then we do not need to put a comma before and. Sentence 4. My yoga class starts at 6:30, so I need to leave my house at 6. Do we need to put a comma in the sentence? Let's check for the three elements. Do we have a coordinating conjunction? Yes. The coordinating conjunction is so. Now, do we have an independent clause on each side of the conjunction? Yes. The first independent clause is, my yoga class starts at 6:30, and the second independent clause is, I need to leave my house at 6. So, since we have the two independent clauses and coordinating conjunction in between them, we need to put a comma before so. Sentence 5. Have you ever been to Palmer or Wasilla? Do we need to put a comma in the sentence? Let's find the three elements. First, does the sentence have a coordinating conjunction? Yes. Or is the coordinating conjunction in the sentence? Next, do we have an independent clause on each side of the coordinating conjunction? Well, have you ever been to Palmer is an independent clause, but Wasilla alone is not an independent clause. So, because there is not an independent clause on each side of the coordinating conjunction, then we do not have to put a comma before the or. Now that you know how to combine two independent clauses using a comma and a coordinating conjunction, try applying your knowledge to the following sentences. Now let's check your answers. For sentence 1, the correct way to combine these two sentences is, his contract was over, comma, so he signed a new one. For sentence 2, it would be, the baseball game was over, comma, and he left the stadium. For sentence 3, a comma should have been placed after vegetables, followed by the conjunction yet, and my sister does like vegetables. For sentence 4, the correct way to combine these two sentences is, the puppy came from Tennessee, comma, and we picked her up last night. For sentence 5, a comma should have been placed after phone, followed by the coordinating conjunction but and the second independent clause. I hope you learned something. Thank you for watching.